All right, how's it going, y'all? So I just got back from UniFi World Conference 2025 in Miami, and I figured I'd just give a recap of the overall conference and everything we've seen. So what this is UniFi is now doing these annual conferences kind of all over the globe, where they go in and they pretty much have a keynote and a bunch of stuff that kind of shows where their company is going. And they do it to really help the public and specifically installers and other people who are professionally dealing with their equipment a path forward. Hey, these are the things we're working on. These are the things we want to get better at. These are the things that are going to be coming out on the next 12 months. And so they're finally giving that kind of path forward so you know exactly what products are going to be coming out and just overall what the company is focusing on. And it was an absolute blast. They had a bunch of people who have YouTube channels like me. Tom Lawrence was there, Frank from WonderTech, Cody was there, and a whole lot of other people. And it was great getting to meet all those people. And there's just a ton of UniFi people there as well who deploy their stuff, and getting to meet people who watch this channel was absolutely awesome. We had a really great time. Katie came down, and it was unbelievable that there were all these people who recognized me just from this channel. So if you saw me there and said hi, thank you so much. I had a great time with everybody. And overall, I think UniFi did a very good job setting up this conference. To start, the way you actually got your ticket was you actually scanned a QR code that they emailed you beforehand, all using UniFi Identity, and it printed their badges. So essentially, they had the system set up, scan the QR code, and it would auto print it, all completely hosted on UniFi equipment, which was very bold, but it worked completely flawlessly. And you just stuck your name tag to your badge. I was surprised they did it like that, but there were no issues at all. And so then once we got our tickets, the first room you go into is kind of looks a bit like an Apple store, where it essentially just has all of UniFi's future products and current products on display stands throughout the entire thing and are giving demos. They've got their cameras hooked up to their various displays, showing them live a lot of things that are either their cutting edge stuff or a lot of stuff that has not yet come out. And it was very cool. They did it very well. And there's a lot of products that unfortunately I'm not going to be able to talk about just yet that are coming down the line, and things that I think a lot of my clients are going to be very excited to see. And it's just a great way to demo equipment that otherwise you would not get to see. For one thing, I did not realize their 25 gigabit SFP plus switch and with the 400 gigabit uplinks was dead silent. I wish I had gotten a video of this. I actually had been shying away from getting this because I assumed it was going to be like the rest of this network switches that are over 10 gigabit and be really loud. This thing was actually just completely dead silent. And so there was a lot of stuff like that where getting to actually see it in person, especially on a perfect deployment and everything like that, has a lot of really valuable insight because you can say, oh, hey, this is actually how loud it is, where it's kind of hard to get that outside of a review and just seeing all the products. So then finally, we have the main keynote. And that's probably like the main event. And the founder, CEO, Robert, came up and did a very Apple-esque presentation, really talked about where the company is going. And the core theme of all of this was scalability, which I think a lot of UniFi fans, especially in the professional side, are going to be very excited about. The overall core of the keynote that Robert gave was that, hey, we have really nailed down the overall setup and how ease of use it is for everything. The next thing we want to do over the next 12 months is really focus on these massive deployments. And they showed a whole lot of things coming down the pipeline that will absolutely be holding true to that. And so there's a lot of things that they're really focusing on, building performance up to higher and higher levels. They've done a very good job now, and I think they're really looking for the massive enterprise deployments. And stuff coming down the line is really looking like that. He also gave an entire section on the future of the UNAS Pro, which is really great. I've been worried about deploying UNAS Pros because, quite frankly, the way it is today, it is a solid NAS, but there's a lot of things in there that make it somewhat limited. And I think a lot of stuff is coming down the line for it, but it was hard to say what. Unfortunately, once again, this is all pre-release stuff, so I'm not supposed to talk about it. But there's a lot of stuff down the pipeline, and if it does come out, will make it a true contender against Synology, which I don't think it is today. They're focusing a lot on that product, and I think the path they laid out is going to be very excited. I'm really excited to start seeing some of the new hardware and new software coming out of that unit. Finally, the afternoon was given a bunch of little sessions going through various parts. Hey, these are some massive deployments we've done. Hey, these are some things we're going to be focusing on in the next 12 months. And it's all very specific deployment things, which for somebody like me was actually very useful because while I know the UniFi stuff very well, there's a lot of just expertise in those fields where when you're doing these huge deployments, all these best practices that you don't really ever know until you've gone through and broken a bunch of stuff. So there's some great expertise there on just how some things were able to be done. And then finally, they gave us an entire gift bag with a UniFi shirt, a sticker, and they gave everybody these device bridges. These are the little things that allow you to pretty much just hook up any non-Wi-Fi devices to Wi-Fi by just auto syncing to the rest of your UniFi equipment. And so you just plug this guy on in, power it up, and it basically just gives you an RJ45 port with Wi-Fi essentially. Overall, I didn't get to make it to UniFi World last year, and I'll absolutely be going back next year. I think for people like me who've been wondering, what is the future of UniFi? Where are they going? What are their plans? Is this going to be something, especially on the NAS side, that you can really scale up? I think they are focusing on that, and I'm very excited to see the next product stuff come out, and I think they're going to continue to make things a lot easier, and honestly, continue to provide something that not a lot of other companies can. All right, that's the end of my recap. I had an unbelievably phenomenal time meeting everybody there, and I will absolutely be back next year. If you have any other questions, put those down in the comments below, and have a good one. Bye.